Okay, so I have no idea if this is working or not. This is my first time doing this. Okay, see I'm live. I have some delay. Okay, so what I'm doing here today is building a Google Sheets clone in React. Well, I've already started building it, so we'll just look at adding a few features. So this is Google Sheets. This is my clone. Trying to make it look the same. So what I have here is I'm using Firebase to persist my data, and basically every cell I change gets persisted to Firebase with a made-up ID. Whenever I reload, I have a Google login, which I already did. All I take from the Google login is the image, so this is the avatar. And as you can see, it hydrated my user's avatar and my cell data and options. So right now what I want to do is I've got my spreadsheet name here. Whenever I edit it on Blur, it changes the title, as in Google Sheets. I see they add Google Sheets, so I'm going to need to do that as well. I'm using Mobx for my state management. So I've got my App Store, which is like general app related stuff. Right now it only saves the number of rows and the sheet name. So is this actually working? Just making sure. Cool. Yeah. I hope you can hear me. Yep, you can hear me. Okay. So as I said, it needs to be the name. When I do set sheet name, I'm setting the document title as well, but it should be name and followed by Google Sheets. Okay, and what I said I want to do is persist the name. So maybe, oh, it's already happening on Blur. So on Blur, I will persist the name to my Firebase database. So I can just copy what I'm doing here with the avatar. So I've got that, and I can just save the name. So let's call it sheet names. That's going to be my path. I've got my database. Oh, sorry, my App Store doesn't have this database. So let's start by passing the database to the App Store. I've got a small provider file, which is where I create the stores, and then I create context, because when I use the stores, I'm just grabbing them from the React context. Maybe I'll show that later. So right now I'm creating the App Store here, so let's extract that outside. And I'm going to pass the DB. This is my Firebase DB. I'm importing it from my Firebase file. So I'm going to pass that as a dependency and then create the context with the App Store. So let's look at the App Store now. I need to grab that dependency in my constructor. Okay, now that I have this .db, so this is how you set something in Firebase. I just learned that today. It's my first time using it. So I'm going to have like a sheet names branch, and by each user ID, which is, oh, wait, sorry, I don't have the user ID as well. So let's go to the provider again. The user ID is saved in the user store, so I'm going to need to pass the user store. So I might as well pass the parameters as an object. and then I'll grab that, destructure the parameters here, grab that user store, and I'm going to save a reference to the user store in my app store. So now when I want to do this, I'm actually going to do this .userStore.userid. User ID exists in the user store, and I'm going to be setting the name. Okay, so let's just make sure that worked. Here's my Firebase database. Okay, so let's name my spreadsheet. Did it work? So I've got that Google Sheets here, and now let's check out the database. Yep, I've got sheet names, and by my user ID, I've got the sheet name. So that's cool. I'm persisting it to Firebase. And now I want to hydrate. I've got in each store I've got like a hydrate function. That's how I just initially grab the data from Firebase. So let's make a hydrate sheet name, I guess. Let's call it hydrate app, because I'm gonna hydrate all the app related data. Later I'm gonna want to persist the rows as well in the same fashion. Maybe I'll want to extract this to some kind of shared logic somewhere, but let's just start with copy pasting. Okay, so hydrate app, I can call it in my constructor, just to have that be the first thing happening when I create this store. So how do I hydrate something? How do I read data from Firebase? So let's just copy what I did here. Okay, so my reference is okay, so maybe calling it sheet names wasn't the best idea. Let's do something like this. Let's call it app data, okay, because it's like general app data. I'm going to save it per user, and here where I'm setting the sheet name, so I'm going to be setting the sheet name parameter, and then when I want to read it, I'm going to read the app data of this specific user ID that we're getting from the user store. I'm going to just read it once, that's what it means. And this returns a promise when I get the data. So because in Mobx, if I'm getting the data asynchronously, then I need to use something called run in action, which means that I'm running this in the context of an action. And I'm not sure if you know Mobx, but everything that runs inside an action is actually like notifies the subscribers of this store of changes. So if I didn't do run in action, then whatever change I will be doing here, then the subscribed components won't be notified of it. Okay, so I have the run in action. So hopefully this, I'm not sure how this works. I'm going to see it in a second because I'm really new to Firebase, just started using it today. So the snapshot value, I hope, will contain an object. So let's do something like this, app data, and then I want to do this dot sheet name is app data dot sheet name, and in the future we'll have rows. Now let's leave it alone. Future, leave the future in the future. I need to import this, run in action. Okay, maybe I'll, for the purpose of this, just use a single screen and not a split screen. Okay, so everything in place, hopefully. Okay, so I'm doing this .sheet name, but I also need to set the document title. I'm gonna I hope I'll get a chance to refactor this later, but right now this is what's happening. Okay, can't get sheet name of null. Let's just console log this app data. If you don't know this nice trick I learned from Wes Boss, I believe, shared it. If you're console logging your parameter like this as an object, then in the log you're going to see the object and then you're going to know what it's referring to. Okay, so my app data is null. Why is it null? Because I haven't I changed the structure of how I'm saving it and I didn't change it here. So let's do something like this, just for, oh sorry, the app data is actually null, so let's just for now do this ugly hack and I'll get that fixed in a second. Okay, so let's actually save our data for the first time now that we've changed the structure. I have no idea if you send me chat. I hope I'm gonna hear it. Cool. So I see 2 people watching now. I guess that's me and someone else. I have no idea. So if you're here, if you're listening, you can send me a message in the chat because this is really my first time. Then I'll see if it gives me a notification or something so I don't just miss you. Okay, so let's try saving the data for the first time. So will this work? Then on blur, we updated the title. Let's see our Firebase. So we've got app data, we've got the user, and we've got sheet name. So let's see how we get our data when fetching it. Okay, cool. So yeah, like I thought, it's an object. So that should have worked, I guess. But we didn't get our sheet name here. We did get it in the title though. That's interesting. Okay, so sheet name is the wait. I know what's happening. In the sheet name component, because I wanted the on blur thing, so I'm using hooks here, by the way, and Mobx React Lite, which is the Mobx React version that works with hooks. So the value is like the sheet name from use state, and then on blur I'm sending it and saving it in the store. So I could do this. I could initialize the value instead of being initialized with an empty string. I'll initialize it with the .sheet store .sheet name. So by the way, this is how I'm getting the store. I'm doing use context. So that's kind of nice. So let's see what I'm initializing it in the App Store. I want to have it initialized to empty string. Yep. Okay, so hopefully it will work now. So untitled, getting the data from Firebase. Nope, still untitled. Okay, so right. So I initialized it with sheet name, but on initialization, sheet name was still an empty string. So how do I make sure that when the sheet name changes, I'm setting the local sheet name here? I guess no. Maybe I can set it to null, and then I would say here either sheet name or store.sheetName, and then for the first time I will see the sheet name, but once I start typing I'm going to see the local sheet name state. Okay, so data from Firebase. Why is it not coming? Okay, so cool, we got the sheet name, and then once we start typing, then cool, looks like it works. Let's refresh. Nice, it's working. Okay, let's check it out here. Okay, so we've got that. That's nice. Maybe just do a commit of this. No, no, yes. Okay, so I did some changes. I'll just commit everything. Firebase hydration changed user data structure, persist sheet name. Okay, start doing more organized commits. By the way, if you want to actually see this, so this repository is connected to Netlify, so like literally every commit I make goes live to how did I call it? Sheets clone .netlify, Google Sheets clone .netlify. So so it pushes everything I do straight to here. So I guess like in a minute or two we're gonna get this change. So you can check that out. Okay, so the next feature I wanted to implement was this last save that, like I'm doing some saving and then it's saving and then all changes saved. So let's do that. Question is, I'm doing my updates from like a lot of places. Maybe this is the point I need to start extracting things, because I've got my app store that does updates to Firebase, and my cell, I call it the content store. It updates Firebase, and the user store as well. So I want basically I want any change to the store to do this saving thing, and then all changes saved once the data is successfully updated in Firebase. So I think what I'll do is have like one function that updates Firebase. Maybe I guess, do I need to make it like a Mobx class? Let's just start with making it a regular class, basically, which is what a Mobx class is anyway. So I'll do it this way. So let's go to my provider. What I want to do is create a DB store, which is where I'm going to be handling all DB stuff, and that will be injected as a dependency to all my stores. So let's go and create that file. So in my stores, I'm going to have a DB store. This DB store is going to be importing you know what? No, better import it here, because if my DB store is by any reason instantiated twice, so I think it's going to import the DB twice. So let's leave the import here. Just give it a constructor which gets the DB. Okay, so that's all we want to have for the moment. DB store with the DB, and I will need to import that DB store. Okay, and now let's change this to an object as well. Just pass that DB store everywhere. I'm going to need to make some changes. Okay, so let's just create a generic, let's call it just write and read functions, and we'll see what they need to accept in a second. Okay, I am going to go split screen here. So let's check out, let's start with the App Store. Let's see how write and read looks like. Okay, so I've got my path, and I have my name. So I'm gonna, I could handle the user ID in the DB store and then not have to pass it all around, but I'm not going to do that. So basically what I'm going to be getting in write is path and value, and I'll be doing this.db.ref path set value. Straightforward. Now let's change this to DB store all around. Okay, so now we're using this single function. Now let's look at the read part. So the read, we'll have to have this returning a promise so we can keep the run in action thing going on. So the read is also accepts a path, and we'll do this.db.ref path. Once we might have different read functions, we'll see that as we go. Okay, so I can just return this, which will return a promise. I guess that would be it for right now. So it would be this.dbstore.read with, I deleted the path. Okay, so I think we're in business with the App Store, but probably going to have to change it everywhere because I changed the DB. So let's go and do that. So we've got the content store. Let's do that quickly. DB store, call this write and value, and Same thing here, DB store read, and don't need this. Okay, that's all we're reading and writing here, and we also have the user store. Okay, sorry for this. Let's do this quickly. Okay, let's quickly go over everything, just see that we're supposed to be good. Passing the DB. Yep. Let's see if we're still in business. So anyone here? So like, does this mean 3 people watching now? Okay. Cool. Okay, so let's see if we're still in business. Still in, however you write that, busyness. Okay, and now we will refresh. And we are still in business. Cool. Let's do that. Sweet. Okay, so now I want every write action, like in Google Sheets, I want every write action to do saving, and then once it's done saving, I want to do all changes saved in Drive. Thing is, okay, I'll get to that in a second, but okay, so let's just add this thing here. I have my, I think it's called menu bar. Just these things that do nothing yet. Okay, let's call it saving indicator, I guess. I'm using CSS Modules here. This is also first time using it, and I'm actually enjoying it thus far. Okay, so this is just some boring CSS. I'm trying to be faithful to the Google Drive, Google Sheets design. The annoying thing here is that, oh, here, you can't right click on the page. They're doing some weird stuff here. So it's really hard to grab their styles, but oh, and now that made me just click it, which is even more annoying. Let's see if I can grab that. If not, I'll just do it later without people watching. Okay. Did I get it? Okay, never mind. Let's just give it, so it's the saving indicator, and we'll give it a color of, I don't know, what is gray something, A3, A3, A3. Okay, yeah, that doesn't look good at all. What did I do for the menu items? Oh, they have a padding. Probably don't need this padding. I'm just using Flexbox here. Oh wait, I do need the left padding. Okay, that'll do for now, CSS wise. Okay, so I want to show this saving, so I'm gonna need like a like the logical place for this would be the App Store, but like since it's the DB is in charge of updating this, so it's going to be in the DB store, and this is going to be a Mobx class after all. So let's add an observable, and we'll call it a Mobx observable. By the way, is something that Mobx, whenever it updates it, it notifies the app. That's like a quick and dirty explanation. So let's call it a save state, or you know what, maybe is saving, and we'll start with false. Then in our menu, we'll grab that is saving. I just need a reference here to remind myself how I'm doing that. Oh, okay, that means I need to pass the DB store in context and just make it like a regular old store. So let's do that as well. We'll create a context for it. DB store context and DB store. Now I can grab it from context, so use context, and I need to import the actual store here. Yeah, not store, context. Okay, so store dot is saving. We'll show saving, and if we're done saving, we'll say changes saved in Firebase. I guess those are strings. Okay, so we've got that. Okay, so we've got changes saved in Firebase. Now, how do we know when we're saving? So let's just check out Firebase documentation, because I do not know how to do that. I think, you know what? I think that I saw it earlier that the set thing has like a callback when it's done, right? If this were TypeScript, that would be nice. I would just see that without a need for documentation. Okay, so API reference. There was like a writing data section here. Real-time databases, because that's what we're doing, not just any Firebase. Okay, read and write data. Okay, so we're talking about writing. Why is it showing me on iOS? That is not what I wanted. Offline. Just show me how to write it online. Okay, where's the writing part? Okay, this documentation is on iOS. I don't want iOS. If I just change it to web here, will it just work? Cool. Okay, reading in, writing data, basic write operations, ref, and we have set with the data. What about a callback when it succeeds? We don't have that. To read data as a path and listen for changes. That's interesting. Add a completion callback. Okay, yeah, so it has a callback function. So this is the second parameter of write. If error, write failed. Okay, we'll handle that later. Else data was saved successfully, so we're gonna have to do run in action and run in action, which accepts a callback. This dot is saving false, and when we start writing, we're gonna set so does this need to be an action? I guess this needs to be an action if I'm gonna be updating data here, updating an observable. This dot is saving true. Okay, let's see what we have. Anyone here with me? Still this one guy. Okay, I'm I'm really surprised there's someone watching, unless I'm just not understanding this extremely complicated platform. Okay, so what do we want to do? Let's, okay, changes saved, so let's change that. Nope, didn't change here. Let's see that we're actually where we want to be. Here. And then also here. I think I know the issue. I just need to make the component an observer, but if we already placed our console logs, let's just see that they're getting called. Okay, here and also here. So yeah, that's just what I'm missing. Menu bar should be an, sorry, it's not here. So I'm basically, this is a Mobx React Lite. If you don't know it, I just got to know it as well when using hooks. So observer, and I'm wrapping the entire function with observer, and now it should be observing because I'm using the DB store is saving observable, then it's going to be observing it and updating when it changes. So let's see if that works now. Let's wait for our Firebase data to come in. Okay, so saving working. Cool. That looks like it actually worked. That's nice. Firebase is just so damn quick, so we don't get a chance to see our nice saving message, but it actually works, and that's cool. Let's see it for here. So looks like it's also working here. The thing is with my cells that currently I'm saving to Firebase on every type. So I think I'm gonna want to change that in the future, but let's leave that for now. Okay, that is a cool feature we got working. So let's commit that. So what we have here is moved database actions to DB store plus added saving indicator. Nice. So again, few minutes, it's going to build and be pushed to Netlify, to Google Sheets clone Netlify. Nice. Oh, got someone new here. Cool. Okay. So what's the next feature? I need to remember to design these stuff, because I won't do it live with you guys, because that's just boring. I just see the color is 777, so I will do that. Header module, so the color is 777, and we've got a text decoration underline, even though they do that because theirs is clickable, which mine isn't. But and why is mine such a big font? I swear I saw them do 13 pixels, so I know I said I wouldn't do it, and I'm just doing it, but that's it. But see if it looks a bit nicer. Why does it not have text decoration underline? Strange. Saving indicator, which I have here. Text, is that not how you write it? Text decoration. That's strange. Let's take a look at it here. Okay, so it has the saving indicator class. But it's not applying it at all. What did I do wrong? Saving indicator, it's in header module. Menu bar imports header module, and it's called saving indicator. Nice class name. Funny. So maybe it is 13 pixels after all. It was just my stylings were never being applied here. Yeah, okay, so let's make that, let's get that back to 13 pixels, and I need to connect to my charger. So let's do that too. Yeah, I know. Okay, cool. Menu item container, let's do. Just not accustomed to writing regular CSS. Okay. Cool, let's look at that cool feature once again, because I really like it. Saving, saved. Nice. What's the next feature we're going to be doing? Let's pick something nice and small, I guess. Oh, okay, I'm going to pick something not so small, actually, but something I really want to do, which is windowing. So I just wanted to integrate React Window because basically I'm adding here, you know what, let's see how Google Sheets adds, how do they add columns? What happens if I want to add a column? Let's see if I start typing in Z, does it add more columns? Interesting. How do I add columns in Google Sheets? How to add columns in Google Sheets. Oh, is it like with a right click button, something? Do I need to do like right click, add columns or something? Ah, insert one to left, that sucks. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna be implementing this context menu as well. Okay, so yeah, I think it's getting late, so I'm gonna stop here. But I hope anyone watched it and was enjoying it. I'm gonna keep twitching. Is that how you call it? Twitching? I'm gonna keep twitching my work on this project. So bye bye for now. Thanks for joining in.